Foremost, I would like to express my gratitude for your insightful presentations and engaging discussions, which have provided me with new perspectives. In the opening lecture of our conference, Sacred Cyborgs, exploring the intersection of artificial intelligence, transhumanism, and religion, we explored the diverse currents and interpretations within transhumanism. Each perspective offers a different understanding of humanity, the world, and technology. Throughout the presentations and discussions, it became evident that transhumanism is framed as a philosophical movement, though at times religious characteristics are also attributed to it. A crucial concern, however, is the way of scientific elite from Silicon Valley. A crucial concern, however, is the way a scientific elite from Silicon Valley appears to elevate technology to an almost sacred status, seeking interpretative authority over humanity and the world. Through technological advancements and power, they aim to impose a specific vision of human existence shaped by science and technology. But in Islam, technology should serve to assist humanity, so that as co-creators of God, people have more time to engage with God, get to know Him, and love Him. Another significant observation is that some transhumanist thinkers, particularly in the realm of artificial intelligence, have envisioned futures where humanity itself becomes obsolete. These scenarios suggest the displacement or exile of humans to other planets, or even the domination of artificial intelligence over Earth and beyond, reducing humanity to a subordinate role. The themes of overcoming death and achieving eternal life are central to these debates. One could interpret humanity's ambition to colonize other planets as part of a broader existential quest, an attempt to find its place in the universe and a pathway to immortality. Yet, this raises a fundamental question. What is the meaning of eternal life in this context, particularly when conceived through technologies like mind uploading? One more thought on the question of immortality. The Muslim theologian and philosopher Miskawayh states that death is a gift from God. If all the people God has created so far were to live eternally, there would be no space left on earth for other souls to come and gain experience in this world. Some transhumanist perspectives, such as those of Feridun Esfandiari, propose that human beings can be redesigned and reconstructed at will. In this view, self-optimization is dominant, encompassing not only intellectual and physical enhancement, but also the eradication of disease and infirmity. However, this leads to another profound question. What is the purpose of life without suffering or imperfection? Such an existence mirrors the paradisiacal states envisioned by religions for the afterlife. If self-optimization is to prioritize, then humanity should not limit itself to material progress alone, but also explore inner capacities that may open new realms of understanding. Why should the focus be solely on optimizing the material aspect of human existence? During our discussions, we also examined various ethical perspectives, including responsibility ethics within the Islamic tradition, which offer potential solutions to pressing environmental crises, challenges that are largely human-made in this Anthropocene era. Environmental issues stand among the most urgent concerns demanding innovative solutions. Modern Muslim scholars argue that environmental degradation is a symptom of a deeper existential crisis. Consequently, solutions should be sought through alternative modes of thinking. As Einstein aptly stated, we can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking we used when we created them. This insight applies not only to environmental destruction, but also to armed conflicts or the topics we have discussed in this conference. For centuries, humanity has failed to resolve such crises because they have been approached with the same mindset that created them in the first place. Addressing this theme, Marian Bremer, in his book on the poet and mystic Rumi, highlights a crucial point. He says, if there is no peace within man, this discord manifests itself on the outside, in the form of division and wars. A level that is often forgotten when we ask ourselves why there is always new bloodshed in history, whether on the borders of Europe or elsewhere. End of the quote. Another important theme of our discussions was the relationship between science and religion. Specifically, how scientific developments can be understood through a religious lens. Scientific advancements such as the theory of evolution have historically posed challenges to religious traditions. However, religious scholars have also significantly contributed to scientific progress. Modern scientific achievements like artificial intelligence hold both promise and peril. As history has shown, from the world wars to contemporary conflicts, technological advancements can become tools of destruction when misused. The devastation of the First and Second World Wars The devastation of the First and Second World Wars, which occurred long after the Enlightenment, had no religious motivation. Yet, they highlight the necessity of integrating moral considerations into technological development. Wait a moment. This concern extends to artificial intelligence, which, if left unchecked, could likewise be exploited in harmful ways. Today we heard that Saudi Arabia aims to control transhumanism and utilize AI as a medium for cultural reprogramming, shaping individuals according to this agenda. In other words, Saudi Arabia seeks to politicize transhumanist theory. I would also like to add that in 2017, the social robot Sophia was granted Saudi Arabian citizenship, making it the first robot in the world to receive legal personhood. This move symbolized the country's ambition to position itself at the forefront of AI and technological innovation, while raising questions about the implications of granting rights to non-human entities. After Sophia was granted citizenship in Saudi Arabia, there was public debate about whether she, as a Muslim woman, should wear a headscarf or not, if she can treat it as a moral agent. One of the most important questions we discuss today also is whether human beings possess an essence or not. Should we define humans as open beings who, while having a fundamental identity, remain receptive to various possibilities for development, ultimately with God as their ultimate goal? Another question that arises in this context is whether humans can alter their essence or even the laws of nature, especially since some transhumanist approaches seek to transcend biological laws governing human existence. In Islamic thought, we can draw on the approach of Mullah Sadra, who introduced the concept of substantial motion to address the problem of the connection between essence and existence. Scientific progress thrives on diverse perspectives and interpretations, for, as Gadamer once said in a conversation with Derrida, the possibility that the other may be right is the soul of hermeneutics. Yet history has also demonstrated that differing worldviews can lead to conflict. In times of crisis, humanity often seeks to redefine its identity and purpose. To frame this within a broader context, I would like to refer to two quotes. In the introduction to The Religion of Truth, a book compiling Gandhi's reflections, an unnamed scientist makes the following observation. I quote, "Never in the history of mankind has man experienced so much darkness in the midst of so much enlightenment, and so much inner poverty in the midst of boundless wealth. Today's crisis is therefore essentially a spiritual crisis, and modern man is searching for the light that will lead him out of the darkness that surrounds him. Today, people's hearts are longing for truth, for light, and for life." End of the quote. Similarly, in his book, What Makes Us Free for a Spirituality of Development, the Viennese Catholic ethicist Matthias Beck offers a parallel reflection. I quote, "The world is in turmoil. There is turbulence in politics, the economy, and the climate. It is disoriented and drifts from emergency solution to emergency solution. In times of crisis, there have always been attempts to reassure oneself. In Greek philosophy, Aristotle asked himself what people were really looking for in the face of collapsing structures. His answer, they seek happiness and a successful life. Centuries later, René Descartes formulated his famous sentence, "Cogito ergo sum," I think, therefore I am. In all this chaos, I know that I am because I think. As strange as it sounds, in the outer chaos, man always falls back on himself anew. End of the quote. A possible solution lies in adopting a holistic worldview, one that integrates diverse perspectives on life and the cosmos, allowing us to navigate the complexities of our existence in a meaningful way. Deepak Chopra, in collaboration with Leonard Mlodinov, states the following in his book, War of the Worldviews, Science versus Spirituality in this context. I quote, "There is much more to say about how the human mind and the cosmic mind are linked. Once you admit that the universe might be self-aware, there is suddenly no mystery as to why humans are intelligent, creative, and conscious. It's in the air we breathe. It's in the neighborhood where we grew up. In fact, the domain of infinite possibilities is the closest thing to us all the time. As the mystic Persian poet Rumi put it, look at these worlds spinning out of nothingness. That is within your power." End of the quote. In this regard, interreligious and interdisciplinary dialogue should extend beyond theology and philosophy to include natural sciences. This approach has the potential to address pressing global issues that concern all of humanity. A profound example of this perspective is found in the thoughts of Hans-Peter Dürr, a student of Werner Heisenberg and Nobel Peace Prize laureate, in a conversation with the interreligious scholar Raymond Panika, Duke remarked, I quote, "The dialogue between science and religion is important to me not only to discover whether we essentially mean or at least aim for the same thing, but also to see if our shared insights offer practical guidance for constructively addressing the challenges of today's world. How can we, from a spiritual perspective, push this materially dominated world in a new direction so that it rediscovers its spiritual dimension? Science holds the world's attention because it is seen as a source of power. However, if science finds a connection with religion, it could also strengthen the inclination toward wisdom, not just power. We urgently need to bring the spiritual dimension back into this world, or else we are heading toward immense suffering." End of the quote. The discoveries of quantum physics call for a transformation in epistemology, one that recognizes the interconnectedness of all existence. This realization has profound implications for interreligious and interdisciplinary learning, which must be grounded in a holistic understanding of humanity and the world. The message of Islam is very simple: one God, one world, one humanity. The unity of knowledge should guide this process, ensuring harmony between scientific discoveries and divine revelation. Thus, interreligious and interdisciplinary learning must remain open and adaptive, integrating new knowledge while acknowledging the limits of human understanding. The Dalai Lama says in the book cover of the above-mentioned book, War of the Worldviews, Science versus Spirituality, we need a worldview grounded in science that does not deny the richness of human nature and the validity of modes of knowing other than the scientific. If we can bring our spirituality, the richness and wholesomeness of our basic human values, to bear upon the course of science in human society, then the different approaches of science and spirituality will contribute together to the betterment of humanity. This book points the way to such a collaborative endeavor. End of the quote. Socrates and Plato have been attributed with the saying, "We have sought the truth, we have not found it. Tomorrow we will continue our search." In that spirit, I would add, at our next conference, we will continue exploring these important topics further. Once again, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Mrs. Stefanie Volker and Sherife Gökseki for their support in organizing the coffee breaks and handling various other tasks. I sincerely thank you also for your participation and wish you a safe journey home. Thank you very much for your attention.